Hello. Today, why don't we do something different? Instead of David, a man sitting in a dimly lit room, discussing his cynicism and lamenting the foibles of life, here is David, a man still sitting in a dimly lit room, but talking briefly about some random YouTube channels he likes and which he encourages you to check out. Also, if you happen to like tea, please consider trying Davidson brand tea. No relation to David, nor an endorsement by Davidson brand tea. David just likes this tea.
Hello there. I am still David. So, I don't know, my channel is just sort of a collection of melancholy and misery, perhaps, and constantly lamenting the foibles of life. So, with the year sort of wrapping up here, today I'm recording this on Monday. I think it's Monday. Yes, it is Monday. Right? Yeah, it's Monday, December 30th. So I thought with kind of the year coming to an end here, I would talk about some YouTube channels I have found over the course of 2024 that are not the same as mine. They are people sometimes in difficult situations or just people sharing stuff they like in sort of a positive manner on YouTube and contributing positively to social media. So the first one here is Martin Blair, which is a fairly new YouTube channel, I believe. It's his oldest one. Oh no, 7 years. Oh my gosh. But I think he actually started posting in earnest maybe like back here. So about 3 months, he was doing like this weightlifting stuff, but he loses his job, and then he starts talking about essentially, the struggles of being unemployed, being older. Martin's in his 60s, and he just kind of has a genuine sort of persona and kind of take on stuff, and I think Martin's channel is worth checking out, and there's something relatable about Martin, and I think something we can all kind of relate to and learn from in Martin's struggles of getting older and still having to deal with making ends meet in life. So Martin Blair would be my first recommendation. I think it's only been the past couple of weeks or so, excuse me, that Martin's actually reached whatever YouTube calls it, monetization. He got enough subscribers and watch time hours and whatever, and he's making some AdSense off this. So just wanted to throw Martin's channel out there briefly. I would suggest checking out his videos. Another one that I've watched recently this year is Paul Yu, who is, I believe, an unemployed Canadian man around 34 years old. And Paul just kind of talks about life in general, kind of struggles with life and mental health issues, kind of mindset stuff. And overall, Paul's just kind of a positive guy that is sharing everyday struggles in his life. And I found the videos to kind of be, relatable and somewhat inspiring. So I would shout Paul out. I think his YouTube channel probably deserves more views than it's gotten. Another one I would throw out here is Raymond Sycamore, or Raymond Thoughts in Mind. And I hope it's fair to say, I think Raymond kind of talks about himself and, the struggles he is personally having in life as a 30-something-year-old man trying to be a man. And I mean, that's kind of not the best description, I guess, but he talks about, sort of blends his life struggles and perspective and philosophy into like a broader philosophy of life and nihilism and whatever. I think it's a good channel. And Raymond's sort of approach here in his videos, I watched his, I think I found Raymond's channel fairly early on into it. He's only been doing this for a few months here. But I think I found this video like within him putting this out within a few days or a couple of weeks or so. But from his first video here, kind of up to his more recent videos, his whole presentation has come quite a long ways. I think Raymond has some kind of background in education, at least, if not work experience as well in sort of marketing and digital media stuff, for lack of a better, more specific term. But he kind of talks about, you know, men's issues, what sort of the landscape for men trying to be successful and have jobs, get property, and meet a life partner and stuff, sort of how it's all going. And I think it's probably a good reflection of sort of the state of manhood in America is, it's a little bleak out there for us men. So I'd recommend checking out Raymond. I think some of his philosophical sort of diatribes, for lack of a better word, are actually pretty stimulating and interesting. Another one I would talk about is JustAfonso. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I thought it was just Alfonso, but it's just Afonso, which he's sort of a younger guy, sort of sharing his life and thoughts and doing it kind of in the backdrop of sort of classic retro games. And it's more like PlayStation 2 stuff. And it's kind of a lot of vibe, hangout sort of feeling. But he will spend some time sort of talking, I guess, about mental health and how life's going and sort of stuff like that. So I think JustAfonso is worth checking out as well. Another channel I would mention, I think this is probably the smallest channel here that I would mention, is, I will say the title of the channel, Hoop Jumper MD, MBA, MPH, which I believe the gentleman's name is Dr. Matt Tonthat, and he is a urologist, which, as far as I can gather, is he's sort of out of the West Coast, and he's kind of newer at doing this, but he has been doing it kind of consistently here. It looks like more or less a video once per month for the past 5 or 6 months here. And they are, I don't know, how would you sum this up? They're kind of, they're healthcare focused, but I think they're also sort of men's health, men's wellness kind of focused, and sort of, you know, philosophy on life kind of talk at the camera type stuff. He has one video here that kind of popped off, 50,000 views, where he goes on to talk about Dr. Gooby. If you haven't seen Dr. Gooby, I think his channel is Gooby and Doobie. He's got like 500,000 subscribers, though, and does not need a shout out. But if you haven't seen Dr. Gooby, he's worth checking out as well. But this is Dr. Matt. And Dr. Matt, I think, deserves a lot more than 50,000 views here in total, and probably deserves a lot more subscribers than 668. So I definitely shout out Dr. Matt here. Go check out his channel. I think he has good stuff. I think his sort of speaking and video content here is developing. So hopefully the good doctor puts out some more videos and gets some more viewers. But those are probably all the smallest channels I would recommend and stuff I've kind of watched over the course of the year here. Some honorable mentions I would throw in.
Hello, how's it
They're
going?
not smaller channels. They're a little bit bigger. They're still small, I guess. Like Bread on Penguins here. If you don't get the reference, Bread, that's her moniker handle in Penguins refers to GNU/Linux. And her channel is like predominantly tech-oriented Linux stuff. You can see like GIMP, how to rice up your web pages, Pywall, how to use man pages, DWM, shell stuff in general, Arch Linux, dmenu. So it's all like Linux stuff, and occasionally she will do like a talking video and, you know, talk about sort of like philosophical life stuff or whatever, and sort of the meme of odd Linux people in the woods talking about life. So I don't think she really needs a shout out, but I would mention it as like an honorable mention. Her channel's only been around for a little while here. Yeah, like 3 months. So she's done quite well for 3 months of Linux YouTubing. Then I would also mention Access Area 6, which he's not really a tiny channel or anything. He's got over 40,000 subs, but if I remember correctly, he kind of blew up this year. He didn't have very many subs at all. He's just kind of a older guy, an electronics engineer that just talks about his hobbies and stuff he likes, which is usually kind of like electronics repair stuff or video games. But I thought this channel was sort of an interesting look at YouTube insofar as an actual social media platform for making connections with other people in a positive way, I suppose. Is, you know, he's just sort of an older guy here. I think he's Australian. And he's just sort of talking about video games and stuff he likes, and he's garnered quite a few subscribers. If you watch his older videos, he's, you know, he looks kind of worn out and sad, and his newer videos over time here, he seems to be in a much better mood, sort of a good mental space, I guess, and you see him kind of interacting on live streams and talking to people and being happier and stuff. So I just thought it was kind of a, you know, positive aspect of YouTube, that people finding connection and people they relate to and sort of improving their mood and quality of life through interaction on YouTube. So those are all the kind of channels I've mostly watched over the course of 2024 that are smaller channels, and some of them got some subscribers. The other one I would shout out, just because it's not small, his channel is not small anymore, but Nomad Push here. He's a Saipanese gentleman. I think he's like 37 or 38, and he lives in Japan, and he's homeless. And he's been skateboarding initially, and then later mopeding across Japan. And the guy's channel is just sort of blown up. He's got over 200,000 subs now, and he pretty consistently releases videos here. Sometimes it's more often, like sometimes you'll see him at least daily, and then sometimes you'll see him every few days or every week or so. But He's put out a ton of content over the past year. It's kind of fascinating, I think, watching this guy that, quit his job to just do YouTube full time and just kind of sharing his experiences in life, skateboarding and mopeding across Japan. And there was one here I thought that was really kind of neat. I don't know. Do I have these? Yeah, latest. I think there was a school one. Oh, not that one. Well, I can't find it. But there was one where he went to visit his friend that teaches in a school in Japan and give a presentation to essentially elementary age school kids about being a YouTuber, because apparently Japan now it's really popular to be a YouTuber too. So if you can find that video, I don't know where it's at. If you can find it, I thought that one was interesting, but he's got all these videos and they're all, I think, kind of worth checking out and looking at if you're interested at all in Japan and traveling around Japan. I thought it was neat.